Do you want to do a podcast? We make a darn good team. It always goes without a hitch. Let's head to Twitch and go start up the stream. Do you want to do a podcast? It's the Nerd Glasses Podcast. Let's start now. Hi everyone and welcome to the Nerd Glasses Podcast. Come?
All right, I'll do my own bits myself.
Oh wait, no silence.
We're doing it. Get off the road.
Hey Dave,
Hey, voter.
what is it called when you go to school to be a locomotive engineer?
I don't know, but it sure chews up your credit score.
It's called training, but
Ah.
I also like your note about it. So, hi everybody and welcome to the Nerd Glasses Podcast. I'm Butter,
I'm Dave, man.
and I came in and I said, yeah, I got a couple things to talk about, and Dave just kind of dropped down a ream of paper and said, I got some stuff to talk about too. So yeah, how's everyone doing today? Hello to
It was a moist.
LOL choo 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 with the subscriber train Vladdy. You guys lost your mic. The mic is actually set up for the Citadel after this, which we'll talk about what that's going to be doing afterward. So we are still on headsets as we have been for Skype the past couple weeks, but it's us! Yay! Very thankful again to Crystal, who joined us 2 weeks ago, and to Jen, who co-hosted last week. But it's me and Dave again, and we're excited to get into it. So let's get started off with a ban. I don't actually have a Twitch ban for you. I did some research and found some absolutely petty BS, which, you know, is kind of what we live for. But, oh man, I hear the pen clicking going through my headset. Let's not do that. Instead, the ban is, well, one of our favorites, XQC, who was banned from the GTA 5 roleplay server NoPixel for the fifth and possibly final time. NoPixel has rules against what it calls RDM, or Random Deathmatch, basically doing PvP activity without a role-playing reason behind it, just up and shooting someone. So he was stopped for a traffic stop by a player character who was playing as a cop, and shot the cop and killed the cop. And that's something that is against how the rules are laid out. The cop, being played by someone named Penta, didn't report because he said, if I just report him and he gets banned, then his entire fan base is going to paint a target on my back, and I'm not going to hear the end of it, and it's going to be miserable. Fortunately for him, admins did catch wind of it because XQC was streaming at the time, I think.
He is pretty much always when he is playing on that one.
So it was noticed he was banned anyway, and they've been pretty lenient with him. Yes, they've given him bans in the past, but you know he's always come back. He has a really big viewer base that brings people to the server. It's a lot of exposure for them, but at this point, it's more hassle than it's worth. Bye bye XQC, banned from NoPixel. Term a hater, he's a juicer, they'll let him back, I bet. 5 chances should be enough, says Demon Dragon. You would think.
It'll be interesting to see if he manages to get himself thrown out of yet another big thing.
Yeah.
But being he is a streamer of a large enough platform, a la the other popular characters to poop on, like Dr. Disrespect and yada yada,
Yep.
they'll find a landing space and he'll find a different game to play that he hasn't yet gotten thrown off of. That could in fact just start being his gimmick, is trying to get thrown out
Just
of whatever
speed running
game.
bans.
Stay out of Knockout City, XQC. I got play I want to do there.
Let's see. Nobody's got banned off NoPixel for just playing music. That's not DMCA one time, so and then got a ban fast for the speedrun. I think we joked about a ban speedrun a while ago. The ban, unban, reban speedrun. I forget who that was, but it's in here. Anyway, yeah, that's the ban that I've got today for us to get started off.
Terma Hater said meant people have been
people,
banned from
okay.
NoPixel.
Okay. Oh yeah. For just playing music. Yeah. Gotcha.
Makes sense. it is a privately hosted server, and they are beholden to the laws and especially the reach of, because when people see large amounts of money and large amount of player base, they want to regulate that. They want to touch it. They want to get their hands in it. Um, Plus, you're on the internet. You're, you know,
Yeah.
victim of their rules and laws.
So that's what's happened the last week. Dave, what have we got looking forward?
So, super excited for the games that have come out. Did you and Jen talk about games that were releasing last week?
Yeah, we talked up through actually basically between last Tuesday and today. There wasn't a whole lot, but we did talk about a couple releases today. Biomutant we talked about a bit
Okay.
and mentioned Final Fantasy XIV on PS5. But from that,
A game that I'm very personally excited about that came out on the 21st, along with Miitopia and Rust for the PS4 and Xbox One, was Knockout City. If you've watched here on the network on Insane Games TV, on Sunday I streamed the beta when it was up a month ago. Had a great time. Thank you to Vladdy and Amslayer for joining me on the stream and playing that way. It was so much fun to get to do. And that game proves that the sports game model doesn't have to be just a sports game. Knockout City is Fortnite combined with dodgeball. It's a lot of fun, and it is an adventure and a half. I highly recommend you guys check it out. It does come with a free-to-play trial period, and in that trial period, you do get the full game and access to all the game modes to try it out. And then the model to purchase it is a one-time $19.99 or a one-time $39 that comes with a bevy of extra skins and their equivalency of V-Bucks and things. And I bought the deluxe edition just because I like the game. I like the studio that put it out, and I want them to continue to do this. Plus, the skin was pretty cool. Who else can roll around in a neon trimmed jacket outside of Cyberpunk when that works?
I mean, you had me at neon.
And then there's a lot of niche games coming out.
Yep.
It's a lot of re-releases from other game consoles and things like that. So, for example, iOS and Droid tomorrow is going to be getting Danganronpa V3 Killing Harmony Anniversary Edition.
I'm sorry. I want my phone operating system to now be called Druid. I want it.
Yeah.
Sorry. Yeah.
Also coming out on the 27th is a game that Boder will definitely be looking into for the Xbox One and the Series X. A PC release, so you've already had it if you are one of the PC gamers, if you're interested in the game. But MechWarrior 5 Mercenaries, one of the first MechWarrior games to hit the console since 2002.
Yeah.
It looks really good. I'm going to have a look at it, see if my rig can run it, and then boot that.
Yeah, even before MechWarrior 5 hit PC a couple years ago, we had a really long drought of proper MechWarrior games. There were others in the BattleTech universe, but it's really cool that it's returning and that it did well enough to now get a console release too.
The last big one I'm going to talk about, just for me personally, and our friend Auntie in chat is involved with, is Warhammer Age of Sigmar Stormguard. It's a turn-based strategy game based upon the Warhammer universe. If you are a fan of fantasy, if you are a fan of turn-based games, they do them pretty well when they put them out. I highly recommend checking this one out because it's coming out on the 1, the 4, the Switch, and for Windows.
Nice.
Obviously, of those 4, one of them is going to keep up to date, and one of them is just buying a game to rationalize your now older console. But it's a lot of fun, and that's an overview very quickly of all the games that are coming out within the next week. Tune in next week for more. If we missed something out, let us know. We would love to hear what you're passionately looking about. Are you going to buy that Earth Defense Force game? It looks like Roblox. But if that's for you, by God, that's for you.
Roblox is big. I'm not gonna diss the fan base is out there. So a lot of cool stuff. I'm sure that something will come up in my Steam library and I'll be like, Dave, I forgot about this last week, because I've done that like 5 times so far.
Oh yeah. God, there's so much. But did we add?
Last I knew, it was
It
on
was that
this
one.
one.
So It is the last Nerd Glasses of the St. Jude's Play Live season, but we are very proud to show that our team has absolutely destroyed it this year. Our original goal of $1,000 has been met and then blown past 6 times over. We're currently sitting at $6,535.57. Thank you for whoever broke the meme, and thank you to whoever builds the meme back up later.
I
But
think the meme is perpetuating on multiple channels, and that's why it's not adding up on the team.
what we're looking forward to is just the fact that this is the last weekend for the St. Jude's Play Live prize season for May of 2021. So this weekend is also Memorial Day weekend, and a lot of people have some time off, looser plans, things like that. So this is going to be the weekend where you're going to see a lot of unique streams and a lot of the reward end of, hey, we did all this fundraising. Now it's time for the rewards that were promised at
Yep.
the beginning of the year, the Play Live season, as it were. Exactly, it's for the kids. But congratulations to everyone on the team. We absolutely destroyed it, and super proud of everyone's involvement, be it on one stream for the entire month or the people that have been streaming weekly, myself, Boder, Rafe, Sus, Amp, and the many other folks in the team that are doing that. Yeah, you can check us out on our own channels and still contribute to this campaign as it is ongoing on the Citadel, the Weekend Wednesday, and our own personal channels, Boderbug and DAM314. But that's our Play Live update for the week, and it will be the last one for Nerd Glasses. We'll do a post-mortem next week, but
I'm going to post the link to the team campaign, but if you are interested in donating, please go down to the bottom, and some of the people that haven't hit 100 yet, if you're going to make a donation, give it to one of them. I mean, we've hit our original goals. Help them out, help them hit some of their goals this week. So.
And definitely check out the streamers on there. Insane Games TV, make sure to hit the follow here. You can see a whole bevy of streamers down below on that link. A lot of fun, a lot of content, and a lot of diversity.
I've definitely made some new friends this month and new people that I enjoy watching on stream. So, what's it gonna be?
There is
We're just scrolling
so
through.
much that has happened in gaming in the last 2 weeks,
Yeah.
let alone the last 7 days. So a kid came into the store and he talked to me at length. He was very excited about Apex Legends. I personally have never played it. Excuse me, I played like 1 or 2 games on an Xbox here in the store and never really got into it. So I've been keeping up with it. The kid talked at length about it, was very excited. And so I've installed it on my hard drive. I'm going to be playing it in the future just because the kid gave it a good pitch. And by God, if you have good ideas, definitely make sure you communicate that excitedness to people. But I did see that Apex has added an interesting game mode that I'm hoping Insane Games might do a tournament of, but it's called Arena. Typically, Apex Legends, Battle Royale game, you know the drill about that. But Arena is strictly 3-on-3. So it is all the abilities, all the characters, and all the weapons of a map, a standard game of Apex, on a smaller map. And you just fight off the 3 characters. They added this a little while ago, but they recently patched it, and they added something that makes me happy, should make you happy, and should make the people that rage quit just pay for it. Which is that there is now going to be a 10-minute queue block if you leave a full team mid-game or before the game has reached completion.
Nice.
They did add, however, if you start a game and someone else quits, you can then leave without punishment, because then it's handicapped and you're not going to be able to fight it on.
Yeah, and I remember something like that was implemented for Squadrons when we first started playing that.
Yes,
but they didn't quite get the implementation right. So I'm assuming with Apex being a bit larger that they'll nail it right from the get-go.
It seems like there are some issues. There's some drag with people. If there was a report that one team beat a team of two and then they got a 10-minute ban for quitting early and things like that. So it seems like the code still needs a little bit of
Yeah.
work, but
Okay.
it's coming on through and it's coming in clear. And thank you very much, Apex, for making sure that if folks are going to play competitively online, they're going to stay in their damn seat.
Yeah. Yeah.
Um,
Uh, I'll pull up one from Twitch. Um, we've talked a bit here and there over the past few weeks about the hot tub meta, about the hot tub streaming just as a genre of stuff on Twitch.
yes.
Is it too sexually suggestive? It is within the guidelines, but then advertisers started dropping with no notice being given to streamers. Twitch finally posted a big article. Let's talk about hot tub streams. They had, their lengthy internal discussion about it, and then they had a few points to make. One of them I'm going to straight up quote right now, and that is that they said, first off, I apologize. Let's make a few things clear. First and foremost, no one deserves to be harassed for the content they choose to stream, how they look, or who they are, and we will take action against anyone who perpetuates this kind of toxicity on our service. Second, while we have guidelines about sexually suggestive content, and from here on out, emphasis theirs, being found to be sexy by others is not against our rules, and Twitch will not take enforcement action against women or anyone on our service for their perceived attractiveness.
Did they really use the word sexy in a press release?
They did.
Okay, way to go.
Um, so yeah, it's the whole like they're being. It is a line that is being tightrope walked by some people in good faith and some people in bad faith, and Twitch acknowledges that it's a thing that needs to be done, but they're not going to just get rid of the whole thing because for some people it is in good faith, and it's viewers who don't like how the hot tub meta is messing up Twitch, even though not a whole lot of people do that kind of stream,
Mm.
that are causing the ruckus. They said that they don't want to create a lot of policies regarding that tightrope between overly sexualized versus something that is just suggestive. Among other things, they say if we do a lot of this policing, a lot of policies, then it starts restricting games that people can play right now that are totally fine for people to play. Like there are sexually suggestive games that can be played on Twitch, but it's not against their policies regarding nudity and so forth.
Or sexually suggestive characters. Here's looking at you, Metal Gear Solid 5. She breathes through her skin. That's why she's wearing a bikini. Good work.
So, suggestive, fine. So they don't want to do a ton of policies. That said, they did say that policy updates are coming, quote, in the coming months. So we don't want to do a lot of policy updates, but we're doing a policy update. See how that goes. They did state that advertising was dropped on sub channels because advertisers were like, "Oh, we don't want our content on that." But they admitted that they should have directly informed the streamers affected because some of it was like a partner was like, "I'm all of my money stopped on the 7th, and I had to talk to my rep at Twitch, and they were like, that's weird. I have to look into that for you." Oh no, I had no idea about this.
I will say, interestingly enough, during my St. Jude stream weekend Wednesday 2 weeks ago, one of the community let me know that, hey, the pre-roll ad for this was a Trojan condoms ad. And I said, well, can't pick them, because if I did, I mean, it would be that one for other streams, it'd be funny for other ones, but not the, hey, let's do an art program.
Yeah, it's advertisers get to choose streamers. I think if you're a partner, you can give
Well,
feedback on what ads.
Twitch obviously curtails who they advertise to certain streamers because that's how you actually succeed in advertising.
Yeah,
is by paying attention to the market. But yeah,
I know YouTube has a feedback form for saying I do not want this advertised on my channel. I don't know if Twitch does. If not, they should because like a political ad or something. Where it's like, oh, I'm sorry, that is someone I do not support and I do not want on my channel. That was a big thing back in November. October. So, last thing from this note, in the short term, although there's a long-term solution that they're trying to figure out, a short-term patch is that they have introduced a new category called pools, hot tubs, and beaches. Basically, if you're a hot tub streamer, great, put it in that category. That way, they say it's for viewers to be able to find things, but really, I'm sure it's for advertisers, and advertisers can say, please don't put my ads on that category.
Well, yeah.
And that way, it's not a channel-wide thing. If someone did hot tub streams occasionally, but other times they're just chatting, at the moment they get no advertising period because they did those streams. Now it would just be you're not going to get advertising in that category, but when you're in just chatting and abiding by policies and whatever, you're still fine.
Glad to see that my stream I've always wanted to do, building a sand castle right on the Long Island Sound, can now have its own category instead of being in just chatting or architecture.
Dave,
Those
you
people
joke,
are
but I would love
nerds.
to do a sandcastle stream.
Insane Games TV, make sure to hit that follow button and build the network so that we can do stuff like that.
We'll do the inflatable kiddie pool hot tub with the green turtle sandbox, and we'll make some sandcastles.
Oh, God. So I'm very excited to see that Twitch is also going to be subsecting the community that exists in just chatting.
They acknowledge that it's really broad.
Yeah.
I mean, like, we're sitting in just chatting right now. So
We're under podcasts and
are we now?
programs.
Okay, cool.
So it'll be interesting to see how that goes. It'll also help people to better find the kind of content they're looking for, like some sort of system where the tags matter. Speaking of
Yes.
tags that matter, Twitch announced on Friday that they will be adding 350 plus new community tags that will allow folks to connect with groups that they identify with. So, for example, they have they are adding tags such as transgender, black, disabled, veteran, VTuber, among many others. They are adding the term ally as opposed to which was LGBTQIA plus ally tag, which misread some people who were looking for a different kind of community or a different streamer. And I do like this article. Twitch, once again, it's interesting how they don't work on their press releases per se, but we're busy. We're doing a program. They don't seem to have very good press writers, but it's nice to see that more community is going to be represented and more community is going to be able to find a niche without having to dig through just chatting.
You mentioned, so Twitch gets kind of reactionary. Like, it's, this is a problem, I guess we'll do something about it. Between that and, like, you've mentioned kind of the quality of writing in the press releases, Twitch still feels like a fly-by-night operation, even though they're enormous and owned by Amazon. They need to step up, and we're far from the only ones doing it, but we've called Twitch out on a lot of stuff before. That said, I'm happy with the reactions they've made this past week, but still.
I'm glad that Twitch isn't fully jumping into we're a conglomerate yet. Looking at how they expand and how they do things, they're in between that point where they are bigger now than they ever have been, but the second you start cutting off fingers to save the arm, you're realizing that you can't just grow those back per se. So it'll be interesting to see how Twitch moves forward with this. Definitely make sure to tag yourself as you stream and let people know. Because who knows, if you are someone that's looking to support veterans, someone that's just looking to support these things, instead of photobombing and memeing on the Army and Navy Twitch streams, maybe you can actually find someone who's home and trying to, make a living out of things.
Yeah, absolutely.
So, good God, we have barely scratched the surface of the stuff that I brought in. So we'll take a little bit of the lighter side of things, which is that Warzone. I love playing it. A lot of you do too.
I never enjoyed a day of Warzone in my. Okay, fine. I
And
enjoyed it until it got too big for my hard drive.
and
Yeah.
they added some expansions lately to the newest season. Now you're going to notice that what they added was something along the lines of, well, Simpsons did it first, and now Fortnite did it first can be the thing, because uh, you're going to be able to say "Yippee ki mother father" as you dive out of the helicopters into Verdansk, because they have added John McClane and the Nakatomi Plaza to the Verdansk map, as well as a
Okay.
skin for old Sly Stallone's character Rambo himself. Um, and I'm super excited for those just because it's interesting. It'll change up the character bases. There's some interesting attacks and things that you can do. The famous movie moment where John McClane has the pistol tape behind him. If you sneak up on a player, they enact that scene, and it's
Nice.
fun. It's a nice little nod to Die Hard and the Rambo franchise. By the way, it's Rambo 2 era Rambo,
Mhm.
not Rambo IV. Ha ha ha. Starts with Stallone's old. Um,
Want want.
I'm glad to hear, Ariella, because it's just interesting just to get those play groups and things like that exactly represented in Predator Hunting Grounds. They added Marshawn Lynch, a guy who enjoys gaming, to Predator Hunting Grounds. So it's a nice little nod. It's a nice little connective tissue between these things, and it'll be really good trivia in 2 decades when we're talking about these things. What NFL star or what movie star appeared with his tower in a Warzone game?
Yeah.
So write that down, store it aside for it to now.
Mhm. You'll see it on Trivial Pursuit cards sitting on tables at your local diner 30 years from now.
Yeah.
There
What
was one restaurant near me when I was growing up that just had old Trivial Pursuit cards on the table, and that's how you would pass the time until your food got there.
great conversation starter, or argument starter, depending on how competitive your family is. Um,
It usually just proved that me and my sister were young, and our parents weren't. They knew things.
I'm very excited because another recent announcement was Overwatch 2 is continually getting teased. Blizzard, please stop. Just give me the game already. I want it. I've been very good this year. I deserve it.
Hey Dave,
Um,
it's Overwatch.
oh yes,
Oh,
it could be.
oh,
It could be.
oh. Gotta
Um,
be quicker than that.
But Overwatch 2 gave some folks some announcements, some news, more teasers, gameplay. We got to see that new gameplay mode in action where the payload was an enormous robot pushing this wall segment. A lot of fun. The new character models look amazing. My boy Reinhardt looking healthy as always. Um, but they added something interesting to the PvP. Right now in Overwatch, the PvP is 6-on-6. It's fun, and the meta is 2 tanks, 2 healers, and 2 DPS, damage per second.
Yep.
For those of you that don't know the technical terms for, they announced that in Overwatch 2, the PvP is going to be 5-on-5. Knowing the way metas shake out and things like that, tank mains are likely going to be hurt by this because you're not going to take away one of the healers, and there's a whole new queuing system because too many people want to play DPS,
Oh
so you're
boy.
not just going to shave off one of them,
I
unless
yeah.
yeah. Unless the Overwatch League manages to move, but a whole bunch of previous coaches and Overwatch contenders were saying, tweeting out to tank mains and things like that, hey, make sure to diversify your portfolio. Keep an eye on the ground for teams that need tanks we're
Yeah.
better than, and things like that. So best of luck to everyone with that. But I cannot wait for Overwatch 2. No release date yet, but the game looks like it's going to be able to hold the mustard, as it were.
Yeah, it's I remember League of Legends in its earlier days trying to figure out its queuing system because nobody wanted to play support.
Hmm.
Everyone wanted to, play ADC or something. So, yeah. Queuing systems are that weird thing that you wouldn't expect to be important and really are.
Demon Dragon. They can do what Riot did in League and give tanks insane damage. I mean, I'm not going to complain since Reinhardt is all over the covers. He got a new character design. Will not complain if that hammer damage goes up. Will not complain. I will complain, however, if the shield goes down. Not a fan of that. Blizzard, stop it. Welfare, says Ariella.
Do it. No, don't do it.
A discussion topic that I kind of pulled out.
Yes,
I
please.
talked about it on Discord, and I want to know what you guys think about this. I know that of our viewership that for every week for Nerd Glasses aren't exactly card collectors and things like that, but I'd posted that Target will no longer be carrying MLB, NHL, NFL, MLS, and Pokemon cards in the stores until further notice. Walmart is at an all-time low for stocking those, and big box stores are getting sick of it. A recent video of this past weekend got released of it almost was like the early 90s Black Friday where people were running and shoving and grabbing armfuls of product, not even necessarily noticing what it is they're grabbing, but just to have.
Yeah, to grab it and to deny other people from getting it, get it all home, then maybe you'll sort it out later. Just people grabbing it. And it's, as I said last week with Jen, I'm happy that we've gotten to a point that we can accept that adults can enjoy things made for children, and don't be a jerk about it.
Yeah, it's something we also talk about on Behind the Counter, where Dan during Danny NASCAR does the diecast giveaways, and so he buys a couple of them. Doesn't take all of them, doesn't grab the whole sprue, and definitely doesn't camp out in the store waiting until it opens to grab them, a la some of these folks are. But Ariella Dragon's Bane, people are jerks, and that's why we can't have nice things.
Well, that has been History 101. That has been the history of the world.
It's been sad to see that people discovered that you can sell stuff online, which is awesome. Pursue your entrepreneurial dreams. Be what you want to be. Just don't push a kid over in front of Walmart to get a pack of Pokemon cards that you're going to flip for 10 times profit.
Yeah, I don't like scalpers. I don't like scalping as a profession, because that's like there is still shortages on consoles, and part of that is because of GPU shortages and semiconductor shortages, because COVID, because Suez Canal, because everything. But part of it is because as soon as they're available, people are buying it because of the scarcity and selling it for a higher price. And it's just stop. Just let people buy it at the normal price. They will be produced, they will get out there. But as much as I'm upset at the people doing that, I'm also upset at the people enabling that. The people that are like, yeah, I'll pay $750 for a $500 console just so I can get it now. I just want a graphics card upgrade.
Holiday seasons are tough on people. Their brains are at an functions are all-time low, and their need to stuff stuff under a tree, a menorah, other celebratory iconography of the seasons, and people just seem to, well, you've watched the Turbo Man saga with Arnold fighting Shazam about it. It was awkward. It was awkward.
Yeah. And that was 20 years ago or so. Just guys, be chill, be cool, and
jingle all the way. Indeed.
I don't know. That makes me sad. Dave, make me happy.
The overarching thing is I don't think trading card games are going to return
back to
stores anytime soon. I think specialty stores are going to make out like bandits. And if you have a local TCG, support them.
Yeah.
Keep them honest.
Like that's actually a decent silver lining of this, and that like Target, Walmart, they aren't going to carry them, but they're still going to be at comic stores, they're still going to be at Cooper's Cave, they're still going to be at these places that are more equipped to spot someone who might be a scalper and who are ready to say, yo, limit 2 per customer, because we want to be able to sell to a 9-year-old and watch his face light up rather than for you to come in here and then send in your friend that I see waiting out there in the car. It's a small business, they'll say no, whereas in Target they don't give a crud. So,
Well, they can't.
well, yeah, because they're basically not allowed to. So a small store is equipped to deal with that, and that is a silver lining. Go to your local stores; they're still going to have them. They're still going to be able to get them for the kids.
Where there's some good news coming from all of this, and I really, really enjoy
Make
that.
out like bandits with tongue. Well, more like Rigor Mortis has entered the chat.
Please bear in mind that this is still a subsidiary St. Jude stream and things like that. But on good news, Apple versus Epic has now its time in court is at an end, and a judge is going to be rendering a decision soon. I am greatly looking forward to it, but the head of Apple took the stand, being that you represent the corporation and had to, and was grilled vehemently by both sides, including the fact that this trial is not being done by jury. It is being done via a high-ranking judge who is going to render a decision. And for those of you who don't know, a quick little breeze over the legal system. Once something has been represented in court and a decision rendered, that decision becomes the basis for everything associated with that idea forevermore. Court cases are as much about arguing the black and white of the situation as much as they are arguing the interpretation of a rendering that happened in 1915 when someone stole a horse and drove it into my property, and I should be able to get free lawn over that. It's super interesting, but the head of Apple stood on the stand and sweated it out as he had to face our brethren from Epic and their own misuse and other things like that. And there was so much good that came from all this.
Are you able to summarize? I'm seeing a lengthy Wall Street Journal article right now.
I'm super excited because I can talk about the bigger points, but the points that I'm getting are from the BBC News write-ups and as well as the Wall Street Journal write-ups. But so, for example, the head of Epic, Tim Sweeney, was revealed in an email that he really doesn't like the Apple App Store paid promotion ideas. Surprisingly, for the guy that benefits the most from that, because if you open up any device, Fortnite will come across that at any point. And it did come across, although, that in an email to Apple in 2018, he said that he found it super frustrating that Fortnite was not the first search result when customers search for the text Fortnite. So, paid promotion aside and all these things, still not a perfect system. Another revelation from this court case was Epic pays other people more than Apple. The exact numbers thrown in were that Epic paid $237 million in commissions to Apple for Fortnite. It paid $245 to Microsoft and $451 million to Sony during that time period. So don't know why Apple is getting up in arms about this. There is also interesting goings on in the trial and things like that, in that there is not really a legal definition for a game. It's a game, actually. So the argument came into the idea of a game, and when people think of a game, you would think, some of us think video games, some of us think board games, some of us think soccer, football, baseball, this and that and the other. So the question is, what does something like a Fortnite or a Roblox? It's a virtual world in and of itself and all these things. So it came into a lot of older people going, huh? And them having to re-explain what it is that they are discussing or things like that.
Yeah.
I have a really big one that I'm going to save for the end because if this gets ruled upon, it's going to be sweet. You'll be very proud to know, those of you that are Apple supporters, that Tim Cook answered questions curtly and vaguely, as a CEO should. He made sure not to dance around wordiness and certainly not fill any open air with any of his words, but rather with a rather sullen look. And I'm very excited for that because it shows that at least there's a CEO out there that knows how to answer questions. But
Well, like, what were some of the responses? Was there one that stuck out to you?
not per se in
Okay.
so much as one in particular, but just know that that man was coached extremely well and did quite well for Apple. Except that
Because there's a line, like, if you watch Mark Zuckerberg responding in front of, like, Congress about Facebook, there's trying not to say anything and very obviously providing nothing of value. So there is a line to walk.
yes, but in the world of legal wranglings, it's all fun and games until somebody gets subpoenaed. Um,
It's all fun and games till the settlement comes down.
so, um, you know what? I'll go to the big point just because there's so many funny things that came from this. So, for example, like, what does a fortnight mean was said in the trial and had to be answered. Apple's process for reviewing apps came under question. The huge amount and huge questioning of App Store's profitability. The question of why is Apple afraid of competition for their devices and things like that. And so many others. I highly recommend you guys check them out. It is hilarious. But the judge, Judge Rogers, as I will refer to previously, asked the question. I'll read direct verbatim from the BBC article here. Mr. Cook was tight-lipped and the App Store's profit margins. However, when asked by the judge, he confirmed that, quote, a majority of the revenue on the App Store comes from games. Judge Rogers then asked a leading question that just so good, because she asked, and I quote, and in-app purchases in particular, correct? A direct question to the idea of microtransactions and things like that, to which Mr. Cook had no other option but to answer curtly and vainly, correct. What came next from the judge will worry him, will worry Apple, because the judge then proceeded to say, but you could also monetize a different way, couldn't you? I mean, this is a gaming industry, seems to be generating a disproportionate amount of money relative to the IP that you are giving them and anybody else. In a sense, it's almost as if they're subsidizing everybody else. So, for those of you unaware of the rampant behavior online and things like that, loot boxes, premium packs, expansions, this and that and the other, digital add-on content, get $3 purchases, $1 here, $20 there, $25 there. Season passes are all under this in-app purchases. That Apple does make 30% off of, as is their contract and agreement, and the basis of this whole fight, which was that Epic tried to curtail and go around that by putting their own in-app purchases that didn't go through the Apple Store. If this gets a ruling on it, this will be a hit for Apple, but it will also lend precedent inside of the U.S. and in the judiciary legal system for these cases that are pursuing the legality of loot boxes, that are pursuing these court cases and attempting to shine light on the pirating practices that are happening with these things. Inadvertently and memeingly, our support of Epic versus Apple could blow open the doors for so much more and such earth-shattering change in how gaming is done today. Games nowadays go on about how they don't have in-app purchases during their review period and then subsequently add them after nowadays. That's how you avoid the bad press. Or you can do the Battlefront 2 model, the second Battlefront 2, for the next-gen consoles, and put out bad press that you know is going to get absolutely just thrown against the wall and hated. And then you can release a just as piratey version, but the numbers are smaller. So people are like, well, they did try.
It's
They
not
did do
so
these things.
bad. It's only a little evil.
Exactly. So if EA especially should be keeping very close eyes on this one, being that they do have production studios within the United States, or start leasing buildings outside of the US, Canada, Mexico. Could go there.
Well, it would
Just
still
saying.
be regarding customers in the U.S., not so much where it's developed, right? It would be
there
where
could
those
be
purchases
there
are
could
made?
be workarounds those things.
Okay.
Especially since the internet itself is not necessarily a defined entity in the U.S. court system, as it were. But super duper excited to see how the rendering goes. This one will be rendered based upon just the evidence provided to the judge.
Which was, again, a lot. Basically half the gaming industry ended up submitting documents from the very wide discovery.
They had to, and I'm really looking forward to seeing what the judge hands down. It'll be late this summer until we hear anything, and then obviously Epic or Apple, depending on who loses and who wins, will be able to have it retried. They'll be able to go to a different court, a higher court, or try on a different precedent in a lower court, depending on which way they go. This is also there was another quote in there that I can't overlook, but basically just that Apple has basically a trust and things like that, and we're looking at your Rockefellers, your Standard Oils, these companies going into court and now having to answer for the first time in a while in the digital age, answer for what exactly are you and what do you encompass. I am willing to bet, and I'm totally willing to go out on a limb, take it for a grain of salt. I'm a 7-day-a-week worker, loser, nobody, but Disney is going to be taking a very close look on how some of these antitrust things shake out for Apple, because Disney has fingers in everything. Disney also manages to keep these subsidiaries very distant from the one larger size things, but it will be interesting to see going forward how these things shake out. So, for example, if you have another, who was the director of the Guardians of the Galaxy that was fired and then picked up?
James Gunn?
Yes. So if another James Gunn situation happens and all of these precedents are set about there should be able to be better competition and things like that, and because certain production companies control 90% of the market and control the distribution for these things with their successful distribution models and things like that, equatable to these online app stores and things like that, there could be far-reaching and a lot of very interesting changing of policies and changing of the guard on these things.
There-
Read the transcripts.
yeah.
Look at them. The cross-examination, by the way, between Epic and Apple was hilarious because Apple brought up GOG and brought up some of the content that is on the Epic Game Store that is not in line with the Apple Store, and they went into, we control what is seen on there and these things, and the judge sort of questioned this in a way of like, what do you mean? Like you're tracking on these things and you're keeping an eye on it, but you're not profiting off of them. And they were like, yes, well, we don't make off of a lot of these apps and this and that and the other. And so she literally turned around and was like, but you make all this money on just games, but instead of making money on those, why not have 45 billion copies of shovelware coming on each day? That's not verbatim.
Yeah, not verbatim.
But check the transcripts if you want to laugh. Epic also brought up some pretty interesting but pretty memey things during their cross-trialing. And it also ended with the head of Epic Games tweeting a picture of himself sitting at a Popeyes at the end of the trial, saying like, well, we look forward to hearing what the end of this is. For now, I'm going to be eating at this local establishment that was right next to the courthouse that had a food place inside of it. Then representing that they chose an alternative to what was available.
Yeah, okay, whatever. I do find the monopoly discussion particularly interesting. I know that there are hearings right now looking at Facebook as a monopoly right now. I think we're getting to a point where we could be looking at some monopoly busting in the next 10 years or so, and it would be very interesting if it kicks off with Epic versus Apple.
Once the precedents are set in law, they are set in stone, and then they have to then be brought up and argued in court. They don't have
Dominoes start to
but
fall.
you do.
Yeah.
God, I am so excited for how this falls out. I am so excited, in fact, that because of everyone's generosity on the streams in the past and all going forward, I will be doing, for the first time, as helmed by me on the Weekend Wednesday, a Fortnite stream tomorrow for the Weekend Wednesday. Any and all donations towards St. Jude's will be met with a Fortnite dance. I don't know how to floss, but I certainly will try for the kids. Border, what do you have going on the Citadel?
Well, there is actually also a St. Jude stream on the Citadel. I will be playing Varia. Currently, the new decks that were recently kickstarted are in open beta. So I will be playing against more like Rigor Mortis as we try a few of the new decks. And Guildhouse
Very nice.
Games is generously sponsoring the stream and is putting up some of the already released decks of Varia available for raffles. Anyone that donates, there will be prize drawings throughout the stream. Anyone that donates is entered for the prize drawings. So
Nice.
it's going to be a lot of fun. Make sure that you stick around. If you missed it, Varia is a card game that can be played out of the box against someone else that is playing it out of the box, or you can get multiple sets and construct your own mega thing. So a lot of it's really cool and thematic. And from what little I've played of the new decks so far, I'm enjoying them. They are in beta, so we're probably going to have some questions. And Anthony, who we talked to, is going to be in chat helping us out in case we run across anything unfamiliar. So it's going to be a
Very
really
cool.
good time.
So you have two different chances to win yourself some Varia cards tonight on the Citadel, and then through my own campaign, I had put up a couple decks, and many people are looking forward to having those. Definitely check out Varia Guildhouse Games and try out the game for yourself. It is free to play for any and all on the tabletopia.com. You should definitely check it out and definitely give Varia a shout out for continuing to collaborate with Insane Games TV and with all of us in the community. It's been awesome.
Yep. Yeah, I during the stream, I can also like post links to the Vario website and to the game on Tabletopia. Right now, the open beta game on Tabletopia, and to the Varia Discord, which is active. There's always people looking to play online. There's channels to talk about various rules and so forth. So good times.
A lot of fun. Um,
What other plans do you have up to the last week going into this last week of St. Jude?
it's a lot of earned rewards from folks. I was very fortunate this year where Brandon, much love to you, my friend, and I hope you recover easily. Um, he did his usual donation match, and everybody came out in force. I was so happy to have Geek for All on last week and do that, and so we were able to match and beat a lot of the streams. Um, but actually, I can officially announce this since I chatted with Dan today. Not this Saturday, but next Saturday on Insane Games TV live here in the Insane Games TV studio will be my return to stand-up comedy. Um, One of the rewards was if we hit the $1,000 mark, I would be putting on 60 minutes at least worth of new content and things like that. I have not had a chance to do stand-up comedy in quite a few years, and I'm greatly looking forward to doing it. And because of recent lift of bans and things like that, the studio will be open. Dan and I are going to hammer out exactly how many people we're going to be allowed to have in, so that the ever-present fire marshal here in the Wilton Mall doesn't have a hair. But that'll be not this Saturday, but next Saturday, partially because of my stand-up comedy content can be PG, but it doesn't have to be. And for a St. Jude stream, I will make sure that it wouldn't be.
Keep it
Sometime this
clean for the
weekend,
kids.
I will also be doing a reading of the uh, B movie script. Because during some of my streams, for those of you who don't know, in my lifetime, I've run across a couple celebrities, and one of them was one, in fact, very irate Jerry Seinfeld. He wasn't happy. He just wanted to watch the Mets game. And so, Sustaina, a friend of the channel, suggested that I should read the B movie script that way, as if he's pitching it. I have this great idea. He's going to be a bee, and he's going to sue. There's a connective tissue to the honey industry. It's going to be hilarious. Here we go. I'm going to hook up with a lady, the giant lady, in fact. There's going to be that. I'm going to be returning for the first time to Friday. For the last couple of weeks, I have been out. Going to play some Overwatch. And I know that some of the members of the community have been trying to do other streams and games and things like that. So I'm greatly looking forward to trying to end out the weekend on the highest note possible for St. Jude's and all these things. How about you, Boater?
I know that I plan on doing a bunch this weekend. I couldn't do as much last week as I wanted to, but this week I'm just, gonna do as much as I can. I started playing Observation last night, and I'm enjoying that and want to do more of that. Another Dark Souls stream because that's always popular.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah, and just keeping going at it. Monday, if I can do 12 hours just to, end right at midnight and see where we are. The last day of St. Jude, I would love to see if I can, hit that 12-hour stream at the end of the time. And yeah, playing kind of whatever comes up. So and then I'm taking June off to play Mass Effect Legendary Edition because I haven't taken it out of the shrink wrap yet.
Nice. Nice. What's going on, Start Riots? How is it doing? Please make sure to stay around, folks, for the Citadel. Support Varia and enjoy the gaming. But for us here this week on the Nerd Glasses, we hit on the St. Jude's Playlive team. We talked some gaming news. Apple versus Epic has blown its doors open. There will likely not be any news on it, but the second the judge renders something down, you will hear it from us on the
Special
Nerd Glasses. And so much more. Make sure to hit that follow button here on Insane Games TV. 11 different streamers, so much content, 7 days a week worth of things going on. And as the world is reopening, we will certainly be getting back to form of tournaments, events, and random streams here in the store. You never know what we're up to, and you could be a part of it anytime.
Awesome. I cannot wait. It's going to be awesome. In the meantime, I also can't wait for the Varia stream on the Citadel, so I hope to see some of you there. From all of us here at Insane Games TV, I've been Boater.
I've been Dave, man.
This has been the Nerd Glasses Podcast. Thank you, and have a fantastic night.